My name is Shaka Dice, and I work with dealers all over the country, okay? I work with them from, you name it, I've been there. Boston, Massachusetts, Los Angeles, Florida, Orlando, West Palm Beach, Tallahassee, Oklahoma, Indiana, Chicago. So I've been all over the country working with dealers. This is what I do now with my business. But I'm a 20-year car vet, okay? So I was pounding the pavement 20 years ago. 1999, March 1999, I sold my first car, took my first up. Okay, so I know exactly what it is that you guys go through every day. I know exactly what it is that you guys face every single day. I know the challenges and hurdles you guys go through every single day. The advantage that you guys have that I didn't is you guys have a thing called the internet, which I didn't have back then. You guys have things called the cell phone. What that means is that your reach is a lot further than mine was. Mine was all about door to door, pounding on pavements, right? Knocking on doors, getting people to know who I was. Follow up, hitting that phone, right? Getting people to know who I was. That's how you grow a business. Would you guys agree? So that's where I am from. I am from the car business. It's changed my entire life. But that's not how I started off in life. I started off in extreme adversity in my life. How many of you guys were born with a silver spoon in your mouth? Raise your hand. How many of you guys face challenges every single day and have faced challenges your whole life? Raise your hand. So you guys have had things that you've had to overcome your entire life, right? So I asked this because yesterday I went around the room and the people that I talked to yesterday, and I said, hey man, what's your aspirations? What are you going for? What are your goals? Raise your hand if I asked you that yesterday. What are your goals? What are your aspirations? What do you want to do with your career? I asked all you guys this. And I didn't hear anybody say, listen, I want to set the world on fire. Listen, I want to own a dealership. Listen, I want to take over all of Rochester. Listen, I want to dominate the automotive industry. I didn't hear anybody say that. What I heard was, is, keep on going, and, I want to do well in my career and things of that nature. And I said, man, why? Because I do this all over the country, so why is it so laid back here? Why is it so relaxed? Why is there no fire here to take over the automotive industry? And what I said is that there are different things that motivate different people. Would you agree? And thank God for the automotive industry, because here's what I know about all of us from day one of me selling cars to right now, is that we're all money motivated. Would you agree? Like, everybody in the room is here to get money, right? Yes or no? Yes?
Yes, sir.
That's why we are all here. And there's plenty of it out there, right? But I go by what's called the MORE philosophy. MORE. Somebody spell MORE for me. M-O-R-E. Money only respects excellence. I want you to think about the strongest people in your town right now. In Rochester. The most excellent people in your city right now. They're the ones that are out there getting the most money, and we're all part of the automotive industry, right? Money only respects excellence, so I don't care what your aspirations are. We are all in it for money at the end of the day, and money will follow your excellence. Money will follow how much attention you give to your skill set, how much attention you give to your business, how much attention you give to your excellence is how much money will give attention to you. Would you agree? If you find yourself falling short, if you find yourself ever in the bind, I need you to dig deep and say, okay, what is it that I'm not doing? What is it that I'm not doing to be excellent? What is it that I could be doing better? How many people in this room think they're doing the absolute best that they possibly can right now? Not one. How many of you think that you have more potential? There's more that you can be doing. There's more that you can be out there getting. Raise your hand. Every one of us. So our job in this business is to find our potential and operate in our potential. Would you agree? This is what I tell sales staffs all over the country. And I'm not talking about sales staffs that do 100 cars. I'm talking about sales staffs that do 700 and 800 cars a month. Our job is to find our potential and operate in our potential. Why? Because we got the opportunity to do it now. We have the shot now. When we woke up this morning and God breathed air into our lungs, I always say God breathed opportunity into our lungs. Because that's what it is. It's opportunity. Would you agree? It's all opportunity. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do with the opportunity you got right now? What you gonna do with the opportunity you have for the rest of the month? What more are you going to do? See, this is how you have to approach the automotive industry, right? There's a such thing called the Postal Service. There's a such thing called Walmart and Target. There's a such thing called Panera Bread. There's a such thing called lawn care service, right? There's a lot of industries out there, right, that will take people who aren't focused on money. But the automotive industry demands that you focus on money and that you be money hungry. And in order to get it, what is the Moore philosophy? Money only respects excellence. So if you want to get more money out of this automotive industry, which we all love, what do you have to do? That's a question. What do you have to do? You have to go after excellence. You have to do more. You have to find your potential and do everything that you can every single day to operate within it. Would you agree? Now that requires you to get uncomfortable. So back to the question I asked you guys, hey, what's your aspirations? What do you want to do with your career? And no one's saying, hey, I want to take over the automotive industry. I want to dominate. That's because you're comfortable. To be number one in anything requires that you get uncomfortable. It requires that you, listen to me, I am one person who goes all over the country. I am always by myself. Every store that I go into, I am the stranger in the store. It is uncomfortable. But my success requires that I do that. The money that I want in life requires that I do that. To become business partners with Grant Cardone requires that I get uncomfortable. See, listen to me. I'm a high school dropout. No one would ever know that about me, but I am a high school dropout. I come from the bottom of the bottom. My biological mother left me when I was 2 years old. I was raised without her. I never knew my biological mother. She walked out on me. I'm from Los Angeles, California. My older brother just got out of spending 17 years in prison. Gang member. 6 members in my family have been murdered. 6 killed. I come from the back. So I know what success requires. I refuse to give in. I refuse to get comfortable. I refuse to settle for average and mediocre. That's what I refuse to do. That's why I'm here in Rochester, Minnesota. Because I refuse to not be number one. I refuse to not be the best. And in 20 years of this business, a high school dropout in 20 years turned into the number one F&I trainer in the entire automotive industry. This high school dropout became business partners with Grant Cardone. The person that when he walks into a store, everybody wants pictures with, wants his autograph, he writes book. I became business partner. This high school dropout did that. And guess what? I breathe the same air that you do. But what do I call air? I call it what? Opportunity. If you breathe the same air I do, then you have the same opportunity that I do. Would you agree? It's all about what you do with it. Listen to me. Not one person on this entire planet, not one person in Rochester, Minnesota has more opportunity than you. They don't have more time than you. Not one. It is a level playing field. It's a level playing field. God bless the automotive industry. Because what it requires is, and the automotive industry says, is you're going to get what you give. The more you give, the more you gonna get out of it. Would you agree? But it takes you to want it. It takes you to want it. Not kind to want it, it takes you to want it. Because you can do it. I'm here standing in front of you as proof that any one of you can do it. So my name is Shaka. I'm from Indiana. Big nose, bushy eyebrow, no education, teenage father. Had a child when I was 18 years old. I lived in project buildings the first time I sold a car. Lived in project buildings. Had no insurance on the car. Drove a 1988 two-door S10 Blazer. Y'all probably never even seen one of them. No cell phone. First time I got a cell phone, they used to say, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Right? I lived in poverty, extreme poverty. No bank account, no nothing. All I had is the desire to be like those that I saw that drove nice cars. All I had was the desire to dress like those who I saw that worked in office buildings when I had to walk to go get my hair cut. Back when I had hair. Come on. All I had was my desire. And after my desire, I found out how to do it. No internet. I found out how to do it. Everything will follow your desire. Everything will follow your grind. Everything will follow your pursuit of excellence. Money only respects excellence. Yes or no? Yes. I want you guys to remember that. When I walk into the store next time, I want there to be energy. Why? Because money only respects excellence. The harder you pursue excellence, the more money you will get. That is the automotive industry. That's it. That's the essence of it. Listen to me. You have to be careful of what you tell yourself. Y'all had a guy in here, Frank Reniti. Y'all Skyped him in, right? 100 and what? 20 cars a month? I was with Frank 3 weeks ago. We did a conference. We spoke at a conference together down in Orlando, the Hustle and Grind conference. I was with him, and we were talking. Now, in the 20 years that I've been doing this, I've been blessed enough to get to the point where I've run multiple stores. Before I launched my own business, I ran the finance department for 34 dealerships across 5 states. I had 65 finance managers that reported to me in my group. I've operated multiple dealerships. And Frank told me, we were talking, and he said, Shaka, if you had one of your salespeople, if they sold 30 cars a month, because I had those, I had them. He said, if they sold 30 cars a month, you'd be patting them on your back, on the back, wouldn't you? I said, well, hell yeah, I'd be patting them on the back. They sold 30 cars a month. He said, you didn't do nothing but do them a disservice. All you did was limit them. I said, what you mean you limit them? He said, because it's a mindset. I guarantee that's what he told me. It's a mindset. It's a believability. The first thing you have to do is believe it here. You have to believe what's possible here. Would you agree? 30 cars a month was impossible at this store until you showed up. Doing 20 cars a month and 25 cars a month and 40 cars a month was impossible until you showed up and did something about it. In the automotive industry, for any of you guys who have any tenure in the automotive industry, doing 100 cars a month was unheard of until he showed up. Doing 200 cars a month by one individual was unheard of. It was impossible until Ali Reda showed up. Because he believed he can do it. You have got to be careful of what you tell yourself. You got to be careful because you might just start listening to yourself. I was talking to your GM. I spent most of my time yesterday talking to your GM. I've got a brand new iPad. Some of y'all might have seen this. Nice, like sleek looking, like thin. The Apple Pencil magnetized to it, right? It's nice. I love it. And he said, man, that's a nice iPad because I do all my business now. When I travel inside of dealerships, I do it on this sleek new. And he said, man, that's nice, man. How much does one of those cost, man? He said, dude, I was looking into one of those and you know, I saw it's $1,200 and dude, it costs too much. And I said, $1,200? I said, dude, you show me where you can find this for $1,200 because I'm going to buy a few of them. Did I not? Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I told him. I said, this is more like $3,000. He said, oh, did that cost too much? I said, no, listen to me. You got to be careful of what you tell yourself. Because in reality, it does not cost too much. Why? Because in reality, there is no shortage of money on this planet. Would you agree? Listen to me. Money is the most plentiful resource you have. It is the most plentiful resource you have. You have no other resource to you more plentiful than money. I'll prove it to you real quick. Which one of you guys, who has $500 in their bank account right now? $500. Sir, I don't know you, but you don't have 500 of nothing else in your life. You don't have 500 toothpicks. You don't have 500 toothbrushes, lawnmowers, cars, houses, shirts, pants, socks, plates. You have 500 of nothing else in your life, but you got $500. And guess what? When you spend that $500, what are you going to replace it with?
500 more.
500 more. It is the most plentiful resource you have. You have to stop telling yourself things cost too much. You have to stop acting like there's a shortage of it. Because listen to me, if you walk around telling yourself that things cost too much, when your customers tell you something costs too much, you automatically agree with it. Why? Because it resonates with you. Why? Because you use that same language in your own life. You understand it when they say, hey, this payment is too much. You can relate to it. Why? Because you use that same language. You got to be careful of what you tell yourself. You will never run out of money as long as you're taking action. Would you agree, yes or no? You will never run out of money as long as you're pursuing excellence. Would you agree, yes or no? This is what you have to understand. This has got to be your focus in the automotive industry. We're not in restaurants. We're not stamping license plates. We're not delivering them. We are in the best and greatest industry on planet Earth. We are in the industry that turned a high school dropout into a nationally known figure. We're in that industry together. Would you agree? So anything that you want out of this bad boy, you can get, but it's all on you, young man. It's all on you. You get out of this what you give. Yes or no? And listen, one last point I'm going to make before we go. You are going to have to become the one that your results require. You're going to have to become the one that your results require. Who in here wants to sell 30 cars a month? Raise your hand. Who in here wants to sell 40 cars a month? Raise your hand. Who in here would like to sell 50 cars a month? Raise your hand. Everyone in here. Well, listen to me. You've got to become the one that result requires. You have to become the person. You have to look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, am I the person right now that result requires? You have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, am I the one right now that a 40 car a month salesperson requires? Do I possess that skill set? Is my attitude there? Is my promptness there? Is my energy there? Do I follow up like somebody who sells 50 cars a month would follow up? You have to become the one the results require. See, listen to me. If I'm going to be business partners with a man worth $1 billion, right? If I'm going to be a nationally known figure, if I'm going to be the number one F&I trainer in the entire automotive industry, I have got to be the person that those results require. It requires me to travel the country. It requires me to get in front of audiences. It requires me to shake hands with people I don't know. It requires me to put myself out there to get hated on and criticized and not be back in the corner. This is what those results require, but this is what I do. And that is what's required to be number one. What are you doing to become that 40 car a month person, that 50 car a month person? What are you doing about it? Will there be 40 or 50 cars sold in Rochester, Minnesota in the month of April? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, then why not from you? Then why not you? Will there be 100 cars sold in Rochester, Minnesota in April? Will there be 500 cars sold in this city in the month of April? Yes or no? Yes. Then why not from you? Why do you allow these mediocre and average people to compete with you? Why? What is it about you that says, hey, I'm going to take a step back and allow somebody from Nissan or Chrysler or Honda or any of these others or Ford or Toyota? Why do you allow them to compete? For what? For what? This isn't a team sport, in case you guys don't know. We get paid commission based off of our own production. Would you agree? Yes or no? Then why let them compete? Why not us become number one and let them be average? Allow them to be average. Allow them to have no aspirations. Allow their energy to be calm every single day. But us, we go after it. Why? Because everyone in here rose their hand when I said, how many of you want to sell 40 and 50 cars a month? But in reality, your actions speak louder than your words do. Would you agree? Every day, your actions speak louder than your words do. You can sell 200 cars a month out of this location. You can sell 300 cars a month out of this location. But you got to start here with your own wiring. And you have to know that they didn't do it before because they didn't agree with it. They weren't in agreement with that. That it didn't happen until you showed up. And because you showed up, this store started having record months. Because you showed up. That's who you want to be. Would you agree? So now you got opportunity. We breathe in air, right? So now you got opportunity. They got a mailer dropping. You got opportunity to turn this into the biggest and best month this store has ever had. And then guess what's coming? May coming right around the corner. And you have another opportunity to turn May into the biggest and best month you've ever had. You got the shot. Now my question is, what you gonna do about it? My name is Shaka. Thank you so much, man. Peace.
Awesome. Let's go.